Lechuga. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a Valentine's collaboration with 4 fabulous bakers. We have Rosie's Dessert Spot, Talia's Cakes, The Lovely Baker, and Little Cherry Cake Company. I'll post the links below so you can check out all the beautiful cakes that we made for this collaboration. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful chocolate wrapped cake. It has a romantic heart design on the bottom, and so if you really want to impress your significant other, kind of get away from the box chocolate type of thing, baking is known to be an expression of love, and I think your loved one's really going to appreciate this. So let's get started. So I have my 3 layers of chocolate cake, and I've added a cake cardboard to my Avari cake board, and I've made some coffee infused simple syrup, and this is delicious. It adds a nice moisture to each layer of cake, as well as the coffee brings out the chocolate flavor in your cake. And I have some mocha buttercream. I'll post a link for the recipe for this below. It's really good with chocolate cake. No extra filling needed. And adding some more of the simple syrup to each layer. And if you have any questions at all about cake in general or this video in particular, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section and I will get back to you. I don't mind answering questions at all. So now that our cake's been refrigerated for about 20 minutes, our icing is nice and firm. And so we can use our acetate to measure around the cake without it sticking. And if you don't know what acetate is, it's just a clear plastic, and that's what we're going to put the chocolate on. And it works really well because it doesn't stick. You could use wax paper, but actually the acetate's going to work a lot better. If you don't know where to purchase it, I'll put a link below. So we're going to take our acetate and we're going to wrap it around the cake. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to leave maybe about a ½ inch over. And you can take a Sharpie and mark it, or you can just take your scissors and cut it. So to make our chocolate wrap, we're going to use some chocolate almond bark. This can be found at most grocery stores. And some red Wilton candy melts. And we're going to melt these down. And I'm going to use piping bags to pipe them onto our acetate. And for the red, we're going to make, with the red, we're going to make a beautiful heart border. So I use 6 blocks of the almond bark candy, and I'm melting it for 30 seconds at a time. Checking each time in between to make sure that I don't burn it. And I'm going to do the same with the Wilton candy melts. So now what I've done is I measured some wax paper, and you want it to be bigger than your acetate. And the reason for that is when you're doing the chocolate, when you're adding the chocolate on there, you just don't want it all over your countertops. So what I'm going to do is next is I'm going to take this template. I'm going to cut it out in strips. And I'm going to place it, I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to place it underneath the acetate, and I'll show you how I do that now. So what I've done is I cut out my strips and I tape them together so that it makes a perfect continual heart pattern. And I tape them together. And so now I'm just taping it down to my wax paper. So the acetate, if you look at the acetate, this is going to be the side on the side of the cake, and this is going to be the height of the cake. So you want to place your pattern underneath the acetate exactly where you want it to go on the cake. You want to make sure you're not getting too much of the tape on the acetate, because when you lift this up, this part's going to come off and there's not going to be any chocolate right there. Make sure everything's taped down. So I'm going to take my red chocolate, and I'm just going to keep a napkin nearby so I can wipe off the tip. And what we're going to do is we're just going to trace over this pattern. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you know, you want it to get the heart design. what I'm doing is I'm kind of just letting the chocolate flow out. I'm not scraping against the acetate. And this is going to give us a more even pipe. It's not going to be streaky or like too smashed down looking, I guess. So now I'm going to take my chocolate, I'm just going to cut off the tip. And it's a fairly fine tip that I've made. And all I'm going to do is, this is the fun part, we're just going to swirl it around. We're going to go right over the red. And we're going to make a very fine swirl all the way around. And you don't have to go too much off the edge. Kind of keep it within close range of that. That'll just prevent the breakage. And we're going to go in an even pattern back and forth. We don't want to take too long with this because we got to hurry up and get it on the cake. You want to make sure you get all the way down to the bottom and the top of the acetate. The great thing about this is it's very forgiving. Kind of mess up, it doesn't really matter because it's kind of just like a messy design. You could even have your kids help you do this part. It's really fun. And now I'm going to go in the back and forth motion just to kind of seal it all together. And look for any gaps that are too big. Like I see a little hole right here. I want to make sure that I get some in there. This chocolate isn't very warm. It's kind of still at the stage of being like melted enough so I can still pipe it, but it's actually already starting to seize up a little bit. So then I'm going to hurry up and get my cake and I'm going to wrap it around. If you wait too long, your chocolate could crack before you get it on the cake, so you don't want that. So now I have my cake and it's still cold. I put it back in the fridge. I'm going to set it down and then I'm going to start to take these pieces off, the pieces of tape off the acetate. Okay, so you can kind of see if you look closely at the chocolate, it doesn't look quite as shiny. You can see it's starting to doll up a little bit, and that's how you can tell that it's ready to go onto the cake. So now I'm going to grab the corner end. It's already too hard. And I'm just going to remove the tape. Now resist the temptation to start rubbing on this. What you want to do is you just want to connect it at the end and you're just going to hold it. Don't rub it down, because what you'll do is you'll end up making your chocolate, like you'll smudge it. So you want to make sure that you just hold it at the end until it is hard enough so that it doesn't just come off. And we can just break off these extra little pieces right here. And then I'm going to put this in the fridge to let it harden just a little bit more. So I've had my cake in the freezer for about 10 minutes. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer. You just really want this chocolate to get nice and hard. So now, for the fun part, I'm going to remove the acetate and we're going to reveal our beautiful chocolate design. Okay, so we're going to grab our acetate and you want to be very careful because it's very delicate. And I'm just kind of pulling it, but I'm also holding this part to make sure I'm not ripping it clear off the cake. And just very carefully going around. You get a little bit of breakage, it's fine. build beautiful chocolate design. If you get a little piece breaking off, you can just take some of your leftover chocolate and add it on. But isn't that beautiful? It's so shiny, and we got this beautiful heart pattern. Adding a little bit of interest. How impressive is that? So this is the finished cake. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you make this cake, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see the beautiful creation that you make. Also, don't forget to check out the other videos in the collaboration.